Hi, my name is Beth and I have a question. Why does cutting onions make me cry? I mean, I understand the basics. You cut the onion, chemicals get released, and I'm pretty sure sulfur is involved. But it's really unpleasant and I wish onions wouldn't do it because they are so delicious and I put them in so many things that I end up crying multiple times a week because of onions. And I mean, by themselves, they're really not actually doing very much to make me cry, but as soon as I cut into them, things start getting a little bit dicey. See, I can smell this onion already, but I'm not feeling it in my eyes yet. So I've cut it in half, I've cut the ends off, but now let's see what happens when I actually start cutting it and how far I can get before I start tearing up. And to be fair, I'm doing a pretty large dice this time, so it's not as bad as it sometimes would be potentially, because I shouldn't be cutting it for as long. Still smelling it, and I'm starting to feel it in my eyes about now. Starting to feel it now. Ooh. I can feel it stinging, for some reason more in my left eye than my right now, and also for some reason this onion is taking a while to peel, which means that the effects of the previous half are having more time to make an impact on my eyeballs. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can get through this. Whew. Almost there, almost there. Right, okay. Oh, I need a break. I need a break. Okay, yes, I am sitting on my kitchen floor to take a break because onions make me cry, and I have always known that, obviously. I think it's something we all learn pretty early on, because whenever we cut onions, we cry and our eyes sting, and it's unfair because onions are delicious. But while I knew a little bit about the concepts of, you know, you cut into something, the chemicals come out, they're in the air, they're in your eyes sting, I wanted to do a bit more reading about it to see if I could understand the actual process. Like, what happens when that knife goes through an onion between then and me crying like something emotional has happened on TV, because it can be bad. So I've done some reading, and all of the research papers and the scientific things I'm seeing are referring to the process of an onion making us cry as involving a lacrimatory factor. Lacrimatory, I don't really know how you say that long complicated word. It basically means things that have to do with crying and tears. Onions, just like other living things, have amino acids, but onions have amino acids that happen to have sulfur involved. So they have amino acid sulfoxides, and when you cut or crush an onion, it was also releasing enzymes called alanases. And if you remember anything from biology about amino acids and enzymes, you know that amino acids are broken down by enzymes. So when we cut an onion, things that were previously separated by cell walls, barriers, whatever it is, inside the onion are now no longer separated. So instead of having these amino acids and these enzymes in the separate places where they belong, they are released and enabled to go through their processes and affect our tear ducts. So the enzymes turn the amino acid sulfoxides into sulfenic acids. Those sulfenic acids are also spontaneously rearranging and forming another chemical called syn-propanethiol S-oxide, which is the chemical that is causing us to cry, and it is the same chemical that is creating the smell that we associate with the cutting of onions. The reason I was smelling the onion before I was feeling its effect in my eyes is that the smell of an onion cutting is not just that particular chemical. Instead, it's kind of the combination of things, but the concentration of syn-propanethiol S-oxide is highest about 30 seconds after you cut into the onion. Now, these chemicals make our eyes burn because we have a lot of nerve endings on our cornea, which makes sense because I mentioned earlier that most of the time cutting onions really makes me cry, and today I'm wearing glasses, so yes, I have something in front of my eyes, but there's plenty of space behind these things for the gas to get in. However, on the days when I wear my contacts, I can cut onions no problem. So maybe that's just a trick from now on. If you are a contacts wearer, let me know down below if you have noticed this too. When I wear contacts, cutting onions, no problem. My assumption is that because I'm wearing contacts and my cornea is covered, it's not getting those chemicals into it the same way. So while if I rubbed my eye and I managed to get the chemicals under my contacts, I would probably be suffering. As long as I don't touch my eye, I don't tend to be affected by cutting onions when I wear contacts. Now, I have looked into other ways that you can prevent this from happening, because not everyone wears contacts. Some people wear glasses all the time, some people don't need them, so the wearing contacts trick won't work for everyone. According to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, there are a couple of different things you could do. One of them would be to make sure there's a constant airflow through your kitchen, whether that's opening a window or turning on the fan over your stove just to keep air moving. Hopefully that will prevent the chemicals in the air from being too close to your face. And the other thing that apparently works is keeping your onions in the fridge or potentially even in the freezer for a few minutes before you cut them, because when they're cold, the enzymes don't work as fast. So also a good trick for the days I'm not wearing contacts and I want a heavy onion meal. In my book, onions are totally worth it. Yes, it can be literally painful to cut them up, and they made me cry today, as they do many days. But I am going to go and make a delicious meal with them. Hopefully enough of those enzyme reactions have completed and the sulfenic acids have dissipated, so I won't be crying before I get to the cooking phase, and I can enjoy a delicious meal with them. Let me know in the comments below if you love onions as much as I do and you also suffer through the pain of cutting them. Let me know if you have any tricks that you use to prevent yourself from crying. Go ahead and comment down below. Like and subscribe to see what questions I answer in the future, and thanks for joining me. I will see you next time.